News leader, KWQC TV6 News, starts with breaking news.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Thomson, Illinois. Good evening, I'm Sharon DeReek. 15 federal officers were hospitalized today after exposure to dangerous substances at Thomson Federal Prison. Lawmakers are now calling for stronger protections for prison staff. KWQC's Wafa Ezzet is live outside of the facility with more on their response to these growing concerns. Wafa.
The exposure happened in the mail room where staff were handling incoming letters and packages. All 15 officers were given Narcan and rushed to the hospital. Congressman Eric Sorensen was here on site at Thomson Federal Prison, and he's joining union leaders in calling for stronger protections. He's saying this current system isn't really working. Sorensen is backing the Mark Fisher Act, a bipartisan bill that would require off-site mail screening at federal prisons to keep dangerous substances away from staff. The bill is named after a mailroom supervisor who died after exposure at another prison last year. He says action is needed before more staff are hurt.
Let's be clear. Law enforcement officers in our correctional institutions across the country work in challenging environments, and I'm committed to working alongside the people here in Thomson to make sure that they have the protections and the support that they need.
It's the 8th time since January that staff at Thomson have fallen ill due to suspected drug exposure. Live in Thomson, Wafa Ezzet, KWQC, TV6 News.
All right, thank you, Wafa. And as she just said, if this sounds familiar, it's because it is. Before today, 8 people had been exposed to dangerous drugs and chemicals since September of last year, begging the question, why does this keep happening? KWQC's William Ingalls breaks down the ongoing efforts at the state and federal levels to keep prison employees safe.
Now, I've talked to both state and federal leaders over the last 6 months who were fed up with these exposures before today. Now, since Thomson is a federal facility, let's start with what's being done at that level to protect those workers. Now, a big pain point at that federal level is that mail screening happens on site. That means prison workers get exposed and the prison as a whole has to go on lockdown whenever this happens. The union leader for the prison workers told us back in February that there is a simple solution. Make the Postal Service screen the mail before it ever comes to Thomson.
And it's just infiltrating the post office, coming through into the prison. And that's what we want people to understand, is that they're literally trafficking drugs through the post office into the federal prison.
Now, there have been bills to fix this, and one even has gotten bipartisan support from Eric Sorensen and Marionette Miller-Meeks. But that's not the only bill that's been brought up to fix this issue. And Illinois Minority Leader Tony McCombie wants all mail to be scanned electronically before it gets to the hands of vulnerable prison workers. The good news is that this is slowly happening, but not because the bill passed. The State Bureau of Prisons will launch a pilot program next month, which will start putting this technology at some Illinois prisons. But Tony McCombie says that isn't enough, and getting something passed in Springfield will fix a problem that's put lives in danger for far too long.
This is not new technology. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's not taking away any of the inmates' rights. That's just a falsehood. This should be about public safety, protecting the people that visit, the people that guard, and the people that reside there.
Now, McCombie's bill did not pass in the last session, but she does plan to file it again in the coming months. So solutions to this problem are on the table at both the state and federal level, but people are still waiting for action. Sharon.
All right, thank you, William. Now, the Federal Bureau of Prisons released this statement confirming the exposure and that the incident is under investigation.